Back with another review, and this is for Studio Redband, Matt Thomas, a great friend. He wanted me to talk about and review Clerks, and I quite enjoyed this. And this is going to be funny because we all know who Kevin Smith is, but for me, this was a first-time watch. Now, I do have a couple of his films. I do have Mallrats and Dogma, Chasing Amy. And there's some other ones which I don't have. For instance, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Jersey Girl, Clerks 2, Zack and Marie Make a Porno I've heard about, but the stuff I've heard about that doesn't really interest me. Cop Out I've heard about, doesn't really interest me. Red State, I remember watching that some time back, but I could not get into that film. Tusk, recently directed that. Yoga Hosers, and I know they're working on a Clerks 3. And I know that they made the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, but yeah, for Kevin Smith, a guy that's been around for a while, I don't know why it took me this long, to finally watch Clerks, because like I said, I quite enjoyed this film, and just the making of this movie is really interesting, and the backstory of trying to get this film off the ground. And this Blu-ray has a really good documentary, The Snowball Effect, the story of Clerks, which is about an hour and a half long, and I'm actually watching that right now, but I have it on pause because I wanted to review this and go back and finish that. And there's some other features up here on the Blu-ray, and this is the 15th anniversary edition. You have commentary from back in the day. You have the first cut version, the first cut audio commentary with Kevin Smith and Brian O'Halloran, who plays the character Dante. An intro from Kevin Smith back in 2004. The Flying Car. A music video from Soul Asylum. Making of like Mayday, the crumbling of a documentary. Which was another documentary they mentioned in The Snowball Effect. A 10th anniversary Q&A. Some outtakes. So, again, some really good features. And the story with this film, the plot, you have this convenience store. You have the clerk, Dante, who is played by Brian O'Halloran. And from what I understand, that character is sort of based on Kevin Smith because he worked at, I think, the same, convenience store, the Quick Stop. He was a clerk, and they talk about that in this documentary, how, which I'll talk a little bit more about, but Kevin Smith was a clerk at this convenience store, and I think it's the same store, and right next door, you have a video store, and that's where you have the character Randall, who's played by Jeff Anderson, and you have these other characters in the film, like the character of Veronica, who is played by, get her name right, Marilyn Gigliotti. You have the character of Caitlin in the film. And of course, you have to mention the characters of Jay and Silent Bob, who, hang outside the store. And throughout the film, it's these two characters of Dante and, Randall. And they're sort of playing off each other, like a lot of banter, talking about Star Wars, and you have people that come in and out of the store, and at some points in the film, Dante and Randall are annoying the customers. Then you got people that come into the store and annoy them, and just a lot of fun shenanigans and sort of on the job, antics with these two characters, and that's kind of the story here. And like I said, I know the character Dante is sort of based on Kevin Smith. And I think they mentioned in the documentary that they had someone in mind to play this character. I think it was like a high school buddy of Kevin Smith, but, he couldn't remember the lines or something like that. And the character of Randall is based on the guy Brian Johnson from Comic Book Man, the guy with the long beard, who's also a friend of Kevin Smith. That character is based on him. And Kevin Smith was up for the Randall part. but he couldn't remember the dialogue, so he got Jeff Anderson to play this character. And again, you have these other characters in the film, like the character of Veronica and Caitlin. And again, people are coming in and out of the store, you know, and just a lot of fun scenes throughout the film, a lot of fun dialogue. I mean, you know, you got the bit between Dante and Veronica about, you know, how many dicks she sucked. And I have the whole dialogue here, but he's like, you know, how many dicks have you sucked? And she's like, let it go, let it go. And he's like, this is different. This is important. How many? Well, something like 36. What? Something like 36? Wait, what is that anyway? Something like 36? Does that include me? 37? 37? I'm 37. And he's like, 37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks. And this customer walks up. He's like, in a row? And then you got the whole bit with the Happy Scrappy Hero Pup, where this mother and daughter walk into the video store, and the character Randall is on the phone, and the mother's like, you got this you know, Happy Scrappy Hero Pup movie for my kid? And he's like, what are people doing? But he's like, yeah, let me check for you. And he's on the phone with distribution, and he's like, I have to bear with me. But people have seen the film, you know what I'm about to get into. But he's like, yeah, hi, this is RST video calling, customer number 4352. I'd like to place an order. Okay, I need one of each following tapes. Whisper in the Wind, To Each His Own, Put It Where It Doesn't Belong, My Pipes Need Cleaning, All Tit Fucking Volume 8, I Need Your Cock, Ass Worshipping Rim Jobbers, My Cunt and 8 Shafts, Come Clean, Come Gargling Naked Sluts, Cum Buns 3, Coming in Socks, Come on Eileen, Huge Black Cocks with Pearly White Cum, Girls Who've Craved Cock, Girls Who've Craved Cunt, Men Alone 2, The KY Connection, Pink Pussy Lips, and oh yeah, All Holes Filled with Hard Cock. What was that video, ma'am? And, you know, that whole thing cracked me up. And then they got another scene where this lady walks into the video store and is asking Randall about these tapes. And he's like, you know, I don't appreciate your ruse, ma'am. You know, she's sort of making fun of Randall. And they got that little spiel there. And that was fun stuff. And the scene where, you know, I think the character Caitlin fucked the dead body in the bathroom. And again, you got the stuff outside with, you know, Jay and Silent Bob and the character Olaf. And, you know, just some of the side characters that come into the store, like the one guy that is giving Dante crap about being out of shape, which I believe that's the guy in that scene, the fitness guy. He was the one that was going to be Dante, I believe, or that read for the character of Dante. And you got this other scene where the character of Randall's going through this magazine and he's talking about the jizz moppers, and this guy walks up to the counter. He's like, I'm offended by your language and the way you talk. And I'm like, yeah, that's society now. And, you know, I look back and he's like, Randall's like, you want to see something offensive? And he shows him the magazine with the vagina, and he, you know, runs off screaming. And I'm like, yeah, that's society now. You know, that guy right there being offended. Yeah, that's society today. Yeah. But, and just fun stuff throughout the film. A lot of, you know, again, just playing with the dialogue. And, you know, it's very, I'm trying to think of the word. Like, you know, it's very quick in its dialogue, and it's definitely explicit. And it really goes into some explicit dialogue. But there's also some stuff in there where they talk about Star Wars and the Death Star and sort of contemplate over that type of thing. And, you know, how Randall talks about the independent contractors on the Death Star. And, you know, just some fun stuff. and throughout the film. And for a film that, for around $30,000 budget and shot in what, 20 days, and being it's in black and white, it worked well. Because from what I understand is, they had to film overnight, because during the day it was a store. They had to run the store, but overnight is when I think some parts, or I don't know how much of the film they shot overnight, but like they would shoot overnight, and then like the next morning they would have to get up because some of these people in the cast, they had real jobs. I mean, I think the character Randall, played by Jeff Anderson, he mentioned how he worked for AT&T, so like they would film Clerks overnight. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but and then he would have to get up the next morning and go to work, and then come back and film more later in the day. But yeah, a lot of interesting information there, and that's all in the documentary on this Blu-ray. But yeah, I mean, it's such a crazy movie, and again, being black and white, it really worked well here. You can say that, being the film is in black and white, it's really its own, it's its own character, and it really, made the film stand out even more. And again, it's really interesting how the film came together, and the luck that played into, with Kevin Smith, and the stuff that he went through to make this film, and how he grew up in this little small town, and going through high school, wasn't sure what to do with his life, and he saw the movie Slacker, which was an independent film, and that sort of gave him the light bulb to make this film happen. But he was sidetracked because of like the town got flooded with stuff, got flooded, and but after that went away, he started working on this movie, and it was shot in black and white because of cost. And yeah, I mean, again, it's all in the documentary here. But again, for a first time watch for me, I quite enjoyed this, and I can see why it's a comedy classic, and it makes me want to check out Chasing Amy and Dogma and Mallrats. Damn. And even Clerks 2, which I don't have. I don't have, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back or Clerks 2, so, I definitely have to seek those out. But I'm glad to have this on Blu-ray. And again, it's a great movie. And it really showed, between this film and, some of the documentary that, if you put your mind to anything, and if you work hard, it can really pay off. And this film is a sort of staple of that, if you work hard, and if you put, hard work into something, and if you really want it, go after it. And, yeah, Clerks is, what launched Kevin Smith, and it really worked out. And 25 years later, 26 years later, we still talk about this movie. And I can see why people today still talk about this movie and its impact. But yeah, definitely, if you haven't seen Clerks, definitely give it a watch. But that's my review of Clerks. Thank you, Studio Red Band, Matt Thomas, for suggesting this movie. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.